This is coming from Into Beats 106.5 FM. Hello, this is Amy Botez here from PEPPED Productions. How's it all going? Okay, so a little bit more about me, just in case you missed my last series on performing your way to success. I'm a professional RADA-trained actress and communication coach, and I offer training and coaching to business professionals in everything from presentation skills to personal impact in meetings, to confidence building, to team building. Anything to do with communication and making the most of who you are, we can help you with. And we use physical, vocal, and mental exercises to literally take a person from Clark Kent and make him into Superman. Now, if you wondered how the average person can use acting techniques to become the best possible version of themselves, you're in luck, because during this series, I'll be sharing my top tips on how to take centre stage. Because after all, I believe that life is one long improvisation. And to nick a phrase from Shakespeare, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. During this new series, I'll be talking to you about how to take centre stage. So what do I mean by that? Well, it isn't necessarily pushing yourself forward at the expense of others or being arrogant or even pushy. I like to think of taking centre stage as being aware of your moment. You know, like in talent shows on television, when one of the judges says to a contestant who is perhaps a little unsure or hesitant, "This is your moment." That's what I mean by taking centre stage. In order for you to know when you should take centre stage, you have to be aware of what's going on around you and pick your moment to take the limelight and shine. Well, easier said than done, I hear you cry. Well, I want you to start with how you approach a conversation. Now, many of us do this instinctively. We listen to someone speak, we wait for a gap, and then we prefer our opinion. And we're listening out for the rhythm of the conversation to try and work out when it's our turn. Now, this can be difficult when you're in a conversation with someone who's particularly dominant and has no concept of even taking a breath or pausing long enough for someone else to come into the conversation. And so it's useful to practice pushing your way into a conversation by any means necessary. Now, my dad is a lecturer at Cranfield University, and so he's very used to speaking endlessly, sometimes for hours without being interrupted. Unfortunately, this has spilled over into his personal life, and it can be very difficult to make yourself heard. And sometimes, as a family, we simply resort to screaming, "Will you just please let me speak?" Sound familiar? It may just be an internal cry if this is your boss and not your dad, and so I want to just give you a few hints on how to break through in this sort of situation. Firstly, the way you act is going to have an impact on them, and so if you want them to stop speaking, perhaps encourage a pause by not reacting verbally or non-verbally. We naturally look out for verbal or non-verbal cues from the person we're speaking to, and this encourages us to keep speaking if we want to. And therefore, if you stop reacting, they will naturally pause. Secondly, leap in when they take a breath, and you can analyse their rhythm. When do they breathe? Time your response for their next breath. And thirdly, be assertive. You can be rude. I give you permission to do so. Interrupt them. Overlap their sentence and push your way in. Don't be afraid to hurt their feelings. If they are naturally dominant, they will probably respond to this positively, as they're less likely to respect your opinion if you're timid in your approach. Take your place in the conversation. Take centre stage. And you can listen back to this segment on my website, which is www.peppedproductions.co.uk. And if you have any comments or you want to share something, please do not hesitate to follow me on Twitter at WeArePepped. And you can use the hashtag WeArePepped, that's PEPPED, or check us out on Facebook where we're listed as PEPPED Productions. This is coming from Into Beats 106.5 FM.